I was fined $14,000 for yard clutter by an HOA board that didn't even legally exist. My name's Caleb Ruiz. I'm a FEMA disaster relief officer. I've stood in hurricane wreckage, wildfire zones, tornado alleys, places where homes are split in half and time stops. You'd think a subdivision with identical mailboxes and petunias wouldn't scare me. But in Crestwood Bluffs, the real disaster wasn't nature. It was orchestrated. When I bought the place in 2020, I was posted in Louisiana on disaster rotation. The house was a fixer, peeling siding, overgrown shrubs, but it had a strong foundation and a backyard big enough to store my gear, hazmat totes, generator, water tanks, trauma kits. All FEMA issued. All documented. The HOA welcomed me with a smile and a 6-page welcome packet. Pride in property was their motto. Fine. I paid my dues. Mowed my lawn. Repaired the gutters myself. Then, in July 2022, I got back from a 3-week assignment in Puerto Rico. That's when I found the envelope taped to my door. Notice of violation. Multiple infractions, cluttered yard, hazardous items, unsightly storage containers. There were 8 photos, zoomed in, high angle, like they were taken with a drone. One image showed my sealed FEMA generator, boxed and covered. Another? A red gas can tucked under a tarp. All within regulation. And behind my privacy fence. The fine? $1,200. Due in 10 days, or it would accrue daily penalties. I emailed the HOA. No reply. Called, voicemail. Drove to the clubhouse. Locked. Then I got the letter from their attorney. It accused me of compromising neighborhood aesthetics and safety. The legalese was dense, but the threat was crystal clear: pay, or face lien and civil action. That night, someone stuffed a flyer in every mailbox on the street. HOA standards matter, even for government employees. They called me a bad example. Said I stored chemical hazards. One neighbor stopped letting her kids play near my sidewalk. Knowledge nugget number 1. HOAs cannot restrict lawful federal emergency equipment if it's stored per city code. Check your local municipal code before caving to HOA scare tactics. Things escalated fast. I discovered the HOA held a special meeting without notice, just 3 board members and their attorney, authorizing legal escalation against me. No vote. No quorum. And here's the kicker, that HOA president, Janet Knox, she wasn't even elected. I started digging. Turns out, Janet appointed herself during a COVID-era lull when the former board resigned. She never filed a valid statement of officers with the county. No registered minutes. No audit trail. She'd been running Crestwood Bluffs like a shadow regime for 2 years. She also owned a landscaping company, Knox Property Pride LLC. Guess who the HOA paid $26,000 last year for? Curb beautification. I tracked the payments through public disclosures. Her company was billing for services never rendered, like shrub border refresh in common areas that were dead brown. That's when I realized, this wasn't about my yard. It was about control and money. I submitted a formal complaint to the state HOA Oversight Division and filed a request for financial transparency. Days later, I was reported to the EPA. Some anonymous tip accused me of improper fuel storage and hazardous runoff into storm drains. EPA showed up. Real agents. They saw my FEMA tags. Inspected my storage units. Everything was sealed, documented, and within code. The lead agent even apologized. Then he said something chilling. We've had 3 other false complaints from this zip code in the past month. All on veterans and public workers. Something's off here. Knowledge nugget number 2. False environmental reports are a federal offense. Filing one to harass a neighbor can result in felony charges. I posted the EPA clearance notice on my door. And in the HOA Facebook group. 2 hours later, the group vanished. Deleted. That's when I went to war. Screenshot this clause and tag a friend who needs HOA armor. Per Civil Code Section 5975, any HOA action not in compliance with governing documents is unenforceable. I contacted a housing attorney. Her name was Ava Lynn, and she was fired. We filed a cease and desist letter. She subpoenaed HOA financials. Then I filed a formal lien dispute, citing illegitimate governance and abuse of enforcement authority. Neighbors began reaching out. Quietly, at first. One told me Janet fined her $400 for unauthorized mulch. Another? A $950 fine for a disabled husband's ramp extension. No hearings. No appeals. I compiled a dossier. 19 homeowners. All fined. All retaliated against. Turns out, Janet Knox had also funneled HOA funds into a second, community improvement, shell, Bluffside Ventures, registered under her nephew's name. I traced HOA payments directly into a private account at Crestwood Credit Union. With Ava's help, we filed a fraud report with the state. And then, we filed suit. Crestwood Bluffs Homeowners vs. Janet Knox et al. Charges: misappropriation of funds, HOA charter fraud, and personal defamation. 2 weeks before the hearing, Janet's attorney tried to settle. We refused. Courtroom day. Janet showed up smug, wearing pearls and a pastel blazer. Ava brought receipts, literally. Color-coded bank transfers. Backdated HOA notices. A notarized letter from a former board member stating Janet doctored vote counts. The judge reviewed it all. His gavel struck like a thunderclap. Ms. Knox, this board is null. Your authority is void. The fines are vacated, and restitution is ordered. Knowledge nugget number 3. If an HOA board is found illegitimate, all fines and actions taken during its tenure can be reversed retroactively. Janet was removed on the spot. An interim board was appointed under county supervision. And me? I was cleared. Fines erased. Record expunged. But it didn't stop there. The court ordered her to pay $38,000 in restitution to the community. That money was used to start a neighborhood disaster readiness program, with free CPR kits, fire extinguishers, and FEMA workshops hosted in the clubhouse. We even renamed it. From Crestwood Bluffs, to Knox Free Hills. But a month later, I got a letter. No return address. No stamp. Just slipped under my windshield wiper. Inside, a photo of my house. Taken from the back fence. Written in Sharpie. You think this is over? Next week, the city that tried to steal a solar farm. Stay safe and stay defiant.